Welcome to my live stream, the pre-market live stream. We had some big news over the weekend, everybody knows, and it's definitely affecting the stock market, as we can see from the futures. Let's take a look at the futures actually right here. That's where we'll begin. So let me get my marker out as well. All right. Yeah, so here we are. Well, I'm showing a 5-minute time frame, so let's go to like an hourly time frame, get a better view of this. So here's your hourly time frame. You can see that when all this happened, everything just went down as soon as the markets opened in the pre-markets. So what you're looking at is the pre-market right here. So, and if we look at energy, it's the opposite. Everything's rising up. And so, I mean, that just stands to reason, right? So, but the bonds are going down, which implies that interest rates are going up slightly at this time. Your metals, they're all going up. So once again, it's inflationary, and silver and gold, that's money wanting to move into that because of protecting your money. But it's interesting because, the dollar is actually going up. Right, so the dollar's going up, interest rates are going up, and yet silver and gold are going up. They're safe haven assets, so it's kind of has that interesting kind of nuance to it, right? So that's one thing to be thinking about. Let's take a look at the pre-market dashboards really quick, see what's going on across the different sectors and stuff like that. So we'll start over here with the futures, and you can see that crude oil is up, obviously, and your gold, silver, and interestingly enough, Bitcoin's up right now. So has Bitcoin now become an asset that we can trust to be as a safe haven now? It's interesting. It's a risk-on asset. It's been down. Nobody's been wanting to put money into it, but now all of a sudden we're starting to catch a bid on it. Be careful with Bitcoin. Natural gas is down, as you can see. And then, of course, we got the Qs, the Russell, this E-mini, and they're all down. The whole market's down, which is exactly what you'd expect at this time. So that's where we're standing right now. When you're looking at the, we got the VIX going on here. It's up 17% right now, but then the futures of the VIX are actually up 6%. That has an implication that this is going to continue on like maybe for another month. And then you have the dollar that's up as well. Now, the VIX being up, the dollar being up, and then the bonds being down. Bonds being down means interest rates are going up. The dollar going up, interest rates going up. The VIX saying that there's a lot of worry. Well, okay, so all that stands to reason. The market does not like a high dollar. It doesn't like high interest rates, and obviously the VIX is implying that it's is having some volatility at this time. And we look at the ETF markets, and we see the same thing across the board. Interestingly enough, though, the TLT TLT is a stock. So sometimes you see this happen where it actually trades down, even though it's a safe haven move. So this might be one that you might want to watch as a possible buy the dip opportunity, but it doesn't move that much. So if you're really looking for something that moves a lot, I don't even bother with it anymore, but maybe that's something that you might look at as a longer term. S&P sectors. Okay, well, once again, energy's up, materials are up. Well, it's not really up. Materials are flat, but they're ahead of everybody else, right? But the energy is way up. It's up 4%, and it's the only one that's up out of the entire sectors. And semis are going into the basement. So the winners that have been winning over the last couple of months, and semis have been taking some hits, but they've had some winners and some losers as well. they're all going down in the basement. You look at XLF here, that's pretty important to understand there, because XLF has a broader implication across the markets, but XLC, XLK, XLY, semis, that's all technology, right? And so, and then basically, this is more of a broader kind of a selling that we've been seeing. What we've been seeing is more rotation, and even though your defensive sectors are here on top, they're still underwater. Everything is underwater as we speak. If we look at the extended sectors, Mara, which caught a great bid, and it's kind of a blockchain play that I look at, it caught a great bid because of the AI implications last week. It looks like it's giving most of that, or a good portion of that back. I think it was up 8 or 10%, so it's not giving it all back. The China trade is down as well, right? All of this we've already talked about. Seeing in QQQ and IWM below the SPY implies that these will be drivers driving the SPY down. You want to see these items up above the SPY. That's why I highlight, these four markets. You want to see these up above the SPY if you're thinking that it's going to be a go long kind of a market. And then, well, let's just go over here. Then, of course, we got USO, XOP. These are all energy plays right here. They're all up 4 to 7%. You got gold and then silver, kind of in the 1 to 3% range. And then, once again, Bitcoin. The surprise of the day, actually, for me, is Bitcoin. So let's take a look at the Mag 7. And the Mag 7, there you are. Microsoft, which has been really beaten up, is not getting hit as hard. But your high flyer, Google, which has been still near all-time highs, it's taken some pullback. It's actually getting hit the hardest. Tesla and Amazon getting hit, Meta getting hit. And honestly, when you look at this as a whole, everybody's down. So Mag 7 is out of play today, unless you want to short it. Your high volume plays, is it going to load or not? This was giving me some good information on my, let me see if I can get it to load. There we go, that's what we want right there, right. And actually I want this with volume. There we go, here's the volume right here. And I got it, I got it divided by. So NVIDIA is your high volume leader, and it's not a good look for NVIDIA because it's down in every time frame, 5, 15 minute, hour, the whole 9 yards. It's down 1% right now. In fact, let me actually expand this column here a little bit so we can see what we're working with. Okay. And these open and weak numbers, just disregard those because those recalculate at the beginning of today's session. So this is really what ended up happening on the day session yesterday or on Friday, and then for the week, right? So NVIDIA, NVIDIA is a major hitter. Netflix, which had about a 10% gain, is giving back in the 2% range. And then you have Plug and SoFi. AAL, Intel, Palantir. This one here is kind of interesting. Palantir is up almost 4%, and you could see that is because they're have a lot of money that comes from the Defense Department. I assume that that's the reason why that one's up. I'm not sure what KOS is, but you got Oxy down here as a #1 trader. 13 million shares being sold in the pre-market and up almost 7% in the pre-market. Quite amazing. So that's your pre-market high volume list. If you want, take a screenshot of this because these will be probably big players into the regular market. I'll give you like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, moving to the next one. Pre-market gap ups. Who are your winners in the pre-market? Well, this KOS, it's the mark on that's 250. A lot of times I don't trade things that aren't over like $5 or $10, but you might, if you like to trade low-priced stocks, that looks pretty good. It's up 10%, so you might want to take a look at it. Once again, Oxy, Exxon, Palantir, Just calling out the ones that I recognize. All right, there's your pre-market winners, pre-market losers. All right, American Airlines open Irene. That's a big Bitcoin blockchain. SoFi plug. Bitfarms once again a Bitcoin. Snap. AMD. AMD caught a great bid last week with the Meta news, and now it looks like it's giving some of that back. Tesla, Amazon, Mara, Netflix, AMC. And then your AI plays. Let's go to the winners. Once again, Palantir is the only winner out of the entire group that I have here for AI as being a winner. Jumbotron, these are the largest companies in the stock market. All of them are down except for Exxon. You can see that things like Johnson & Johnson and Walmart, they're not down severely because they're more like defensive kind of stocks. But Oracle, one that a lot of people have begun to look at to see if it's time to buy the dip. Don't buy the dip until it breaks trend. I was just telling somebody that last week, and I hope that they listen to me, and they'll be happy today because Oracle's now down 3%. So the largest stocks in the stock market are going down. What does that imply for the SPY? SPY's going down, at least for now. These things can bounce, and I do kind of expect to see a bounce at the open. So. All right, I just have a primary watch list. These are a lot of the things that I just kind of trade or been watching very closely recently. So Oxy, I'm actually in Oxy, XOM, you got your gold, your silver. It looks like Boeing's actually catching a bid. Everything else is underwater. Bloom Energy, boy, Bloom Energy's been, I think, 800% over the last year or two, and it's given back 4%, which is nothing. That might be one to watch to see if it has some momentum. SNDK, that one also has been a huge high flyer. So we'll take a look at some of these charts here in a bit, but I want to finish going through the dashboards. And then this watch list, this is like several hundred items on the list, and this just gives me a bigger overview of things maybe that I haven't been taken into consideration. Halliburton, Lockheed Martin, it makes sense that those would be up today in the pre-market. BP, that's an oil stock. CrowdStrike, look at CrowdStrike. That might be one to think about on the buy the dip. That was taking a huge hit last week. I think it even, I'm not sure if it went all the way down to $300 or not, but it's trading right now at $373, so I think we should probably take a look at that one. Let's look at the bottom of the list. And then there on the bottom of the list is Beyond Meat. It's trading less than $1. I can remember that was, boy, that was a big trader. CCL and RCL, they've been doing great lately, but they're down big time right now. Obviously, people aren't going to be wanting to go on cruises right now. This is kind of JMIA is the Amazon basically of Africa. Baidu, your China play, XPEV China, Shop, Baba, Nike. Yeah, so basically stock market's down, right? So let's go ahead and let's look at some charts. And we'll begin with the SPY. By the way, if you have any specific charts that you want me to look at, let me know in the comment or the chat. Give me 1 second to set my thing up. Here we go, the SPY. This is something that I wanted to show. I got this. This is set right now on daily. Let's set it for a 24-hour time frame. Let's see. Oh, it looks like I don't have that on this list. So let's go ahead and add it. So I'll show you how to do something in Thinkorswim if you've ever used it or whatever. This is actually intraday. We're going to go out as 360 days. I want it for 24 hours. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this is the only way to get the pre-market in here. And the pre-market's actually moved quite a bit. So we definitely want to add that. So let's look at it from the 24-hour time frame. And you can see it's bouncing off of this zone here that I had. So, and let's take a look at what's maximize the sellout. And this is something that I built this zone right here to kind of talk about on a podcast that I was on just recently about how the S&P has really just been trading in this zone forever, and that you're better off, buying, here at the bottom, right, and then just selling at the top, and until something happens where it actually breaks over the top or breaks under the bottom, that's your play. So, but one of the things is that we're looking at is that this bottom line here, we're testing it right now as we speak. And not only that, we're also testing a trend line right here. And it's weakened because we've actually gone through it, as you can see, right here, we've gone through it, but then we've also picked up this same support right here, right? So we picked up the support and gone through it. Will it hold? That's the question of the day. Is this going to hold, or are we going to finally actually see something where maybe it comes down, goes up, and then, that would be like your, down, up, down. That's kind of like, the play that you look for when you're looking to go short on something like this. But when you look at the SPY, stocks just don't go up forever. It's been going up since here, and then it just went sideways since basically, December. Okay, it's been going sideways. And this is something I just got done talking about in a podcast. It's due for a retracement. So is this going to be the excuse that's used, to get us that retracement that we're probably due for? So taking a look at, we want to look at all of the future markets to see how they're doing on an hourly time frame. I have a view here that I can share with you right here. So there you go. That's what we're looking at. Everything is below the 20-period moving average, as you can see right here, right? We're all below the 20-period moving average. This one here is it's the Dow. I'm sorry. This is the S&P, right? This one here is the NQ, right? So it's Qs. We're down below, and you can see it's got a nice trend line going down. This is not a spot to you got resistance right here, so this is not a spot to actually look to go long. You should look for it to come into the moving averages and probably come back down, test, and that would be kind of the price action I would look for. The Russell has already moved up into the moving averages, implying it probably had a little more of an extreme move, but it's getting a little bit better bounce at this time. And then you could see how this shot up and now it's pulling back. In regards to your energy stocks, one of the things that I came across today on my research was that the Strait of Hormuz, obviously, they're going to have problems with the Strait of Hormuz, but they can't move the tankers out because tankers can't get insurance. So that there's 200 tankers that are sitting in ports. And right now there's a glut in the oil market, so that we're okay right now. But this is a problem that could actually have some lag to it. So we need to actually be thinking about that as well. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some stocks. I'm gonna look here in the chats. Hello guys. Let me know if there's ISRG. Okay. I will take a look at that. Let's take a quick look at the Mag 7 to begin with, though. I always like to start off with them. And we'll change this now to a 4-hour, okay? Give us a little bit more price action. All right, so on Microsoft, which is the least one that's getting hit the hardest out of these Mag 7, we're basically in a consolidation range right here, right? So you're looking at, basically that consolidation range is between 400 and 383. 382 is what I have marked right there for your pivot low. So that's Microsoft for you. If we go to Apple, looking on a 4-hour chart, it's had a pretty, it looks like it's at basically in a bear flag right now on the 4-hour. There's your pull, right, and here's your flag. It's pretty easy to see, right? So, and your pivot low right there is 260.46. So the way you want to play that is it would probably come down, it would probably hit this 258, retest, and you probably get a good entry coming right back off of that, you know, trading the right side of the V. If it decides to just gap and go, you could throw a moving average, you could throw a stop behind the moving average, because one of the things that I have found, what I have down here is I have these little dots right here. This is representing RSI, and the RSI is actually extremely weak. That's why it's red. When it's red, it's extremely weak. When it's purple or magenta on the top side or the bottom side, it means that it's overbought or oversold in terms of speaking the RSI. I don't really like those terms, but those are the terms that everybody uses. Anyhow, as long as the RSI stays high, stays below 35 and below 30, you can see what it can do. What it'll do is it'll actually hug that 5 SMA. One problem that we have, though, right now is that we got a divergence, a big gap between the 20, the 10, and the 5. A lot of times when you see that happen, price will wait for these SMAs to catch up to it. So this might not be this might actually stay in a consolidation for a little while, waiting for those SMAs to catch up. We'll have to see how severe it is when we play these actions when the market opens. Once again, watching price action. Taking a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is not even in a consolidation, and NVIDIA is doing exactly what I just got on explaining to you. Here's your RSI dots, and notice, price never went above this 5. So you could have actually chased this, set a stop loss on the other side of the 5 or the 10. Sometimes I like to use the 10 because it will come back into the 10 sometimes, and then you get a nice retreat. Or if it does come back, you can do that as well. It looks like it's wanting to do some kind of consolidation or maybe some basically a retracement. And I would look at this number right here, 170, basically 179. 179 gets hit. You want to see what's happening with price action around there, but that might be an excellent place for a short if you're looking to short this. So going to Meta. All right, Meta's in a sideways consolidation, kind of similar to what was going on with Microsoft. And the low of it is 629, and the high is basically 661, 663 zone area. 629 is also at 628 right there. If it's going to break, it's trading in the middle right now. There's a saying, don't diddle in the middle. So you don't buy, you don't sell in the middle. For me, we got to watch and see if markets are trending, or are they going to actually see they've been trending in the pre-market, but that does not necessarily mean they'll trend during the day today. They could actually end up deciding to go sideways, but I'm kind of thinking that with the volatility the way it's going, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we see some profit taking right off the bat. Maybe it's only for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden it dumps, or maybe at 2 or 3 minutes we get some profit taking, and then you get some volatility with a lot of dojis, very large dojis, because of the VIX being up so high. There's a lot of conviction that we need to get out of this. So, but Meta also has this. If you look here, Meta also has this trend line right here that it broke. That's a weekly trend line that it broke. And basically, Meta's not looking too bad, honestly. I mean, this might be one that once things cool off, this might be a buy the dip opportunity for Meta to consider. So Meta's in the middle right now. You need to let that price action play out. I don't see anything for that. Amazon, we kind of got the same thing going on with Amazon. Amazon is really kind of stuck right in the middle of that price range if you look at it. Here's price action right here. Top of your range, 211, 212. Bottom of the range is 201, 200 area, and you got more support at 196. I wouldn't do anything with this stock here. What's the point? It needs to get up above and retest and then go that way, or down below and retest and go down. So for me, Amazon is a no play. Tesla. And there you go. Tesla's breaking down. And this is actually, if you want to try trading the pre-market, this is actually what you look for right there. Especially if you go down then to a lower time frame, go into like your 5 and your 15-minute charts. Maybe you can find an entry that makes sense, and then your stop loss would be either outside of this zone, depending on how far and how long you want to hold for. You could do a scale-in strategy that I've used before, where I would sell 2 to 1, sell 2, and then as it does a nice little bit of a return to your profit, you sell 1. 2 to 1 ratio is what I'm talking about. But basically, that's exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for the retest and then the go. So if it takes out this low right here and then right there, it's going down. So Tesla is definitely on the short list. And then Google. Google's at the bottom of a trading range. As you can see, the top, whoops, we don't want to do that. Okay, there we go. All right, so the top of the trading range is 314. That's a long way away. We want to watch this to see if it's going to pick up some support. It's got a lot of overhead to get through. If it decides to bounce slightly down, you're going to have to get through 302, 306. 305, 308, moving averages. Like this is where a lot of people, they like to play those reverse plays instead of playing momentum plays. The problem with that is you just don't get a lot of run. Okay, what this actually could do for you though, if it came down and decided to test the bottom of this range, it could give you a huge run. And what I'm looking at here is I really see with Google, and I'm a big Google fan, I think that they're going to, I keep telling everybody they're going to rule the world, right? But when you look here, it looks to me like we might have an ABC pattern actually playing out before our eyes. And an ABC pattern then implies that the expected move would be at a minimum 283, 263 would be a complete move of that implied move. So Google, maybe it's not today that it actually breaks down or whatever. Maybe it does some consolidation or something like that. But even though Google, I do believe fundamentally is one of your better plays, it does look like it's working out to be a possible short to me. All right, we got XLE, Palantir, Shield. I had somebody earlier, I think that, ISRG. All right, so what time is it right now? It's 8:27. All right, cool. We'll spend a little bit of time going over those stocks, and then I'm going to close it down for the day. I hope it was helpful to you. All right, so ISRG. What is that? Interactive Surgical. Okay, very interesting. I haven't looked at this chart. Let me go ahead and put all of my charts on, and so I can kind of get a larger view of this. Okay, so over here on the weekly chart, you can see on this weekly chart. Okay, so where am I? I'm right here. Actually, let me use my arrow key because I think it helps, right? I'm right here on this weekly chart. But you can see on this weekly chart, we're stuck in between this trading range right here. Okay, it's going nowhere. It's been getting beat down, as we can see. And if we look at the 4-hour chart, well, the daily chart, let's take a look at the daily chart. And I got it on 4-hour right now. So let's change it to 24 hours so we can include the pre-market. This is setting up a bear flag. I mean, it's really clear. You could do the bear flag from one of two ways. You could do it completely like this, right? That would be your bear flag, and then that would imply a move like in this range. I'm just eyeing it, okay? But I would actually look at it more like this, which would then imply probably right here in this area, and you can see you got that 437. So it's actually in a bear flag consolidation. Bear flags don't always pull into the downside. Sometimes they pull into the upside. You got some room for to make something off of the top side of this, but not a lot of room. I mean, it's like in the 500 range to 525 before you hit a moving average and you hit upper resistance. So once again, this is why it's always better to kind of go with the flow. I will look on your hourly chart just to give you some hourly numbers so that you can, if you're looking to trade this. Once again, it's in a trading range, but it looks like, well, it looks like it's at the bottom of this trading range right here. And that is 496. So look for it to come through and retest and go, or just gap and go. And then once again, follow a 5 or a 10 moving average if you're aggressive on that move. And I've done that sometimes, and I've been very well rewarded. But you know, watch the broader market as well. Is the broader market trading down? If it's trading down, you can follow that as well. So let's take a look at, we know Palantir is like just kicking butt. We've already seen that. Let's go ahead and look at Palantir on the hourly chart. We'll go backwards this time. So Palantir, look at this, look at this. It drove it all the way down to 137, and then a big buyer came in and just kept on stepping on the gas right there, huh? How you like that? That is bullish. And you were in a bull flag consolidation here, and it's up basically on the day, I think 4%, if we remember. And it looks like you are getting a strong RSI read. Your moving averages are flat. The moving averages, the more recent moving averages are flat. The longer moving averages are actually uptrending. All of the averages are still stacked, which stacked, here's the reason why stacked actually matters. So I told you before, I said when they move apart from each other like this, you know that sometimes it's going to go sideways for a while to let the moving averages catch up. But if it does dive down, that means that you got a dynamic support off of these areas. You had dynamic support off of those areas. You also had a support right here. So it's not surprising to see that it just shot right back up. And it probably ate those shorts up if somebody was trying to actually short it at that spot. I think we'll leave it on the hour on that. I want to go over to XLE, another one that we know is up a good percentage for the day. XLE. Let's look at the hourly. So there's your hourly pivots. Once again, if these pivots help you, you know, go ahead and make sure that you're capturing screenshots. I will have this video available probably within 30 minutes after I am done with the stream. So 55 or 56 is basically the floor. Your flagpole, I don't like to see this kind of thing, and then it decides to consolidate. I really prefer when it actually consolidates towards the top. But once again, your moving averages are stacked. It got way far away from your moving averages here. See that? And so what did it do? It ended up, price came back to the moving averages. The moving averages are coming back up to price. Your DMI and your ADX line are saying this thing is trending, and it's trending in a strong trend. Right now, this is actually what I call a compression zone indicator, letting you know that price is compressing for the next move. See, when you see price compressing like this, it lets you know that all of a sudden, here it was compressing through here, all of a sudden, boom, you get a big move. You see some compression right here, you get a big move. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's what I use that indicator for. So the last one I have on my list is SHLD. SHLD. And I think we're gonna zoom out on this one because I don't really know this stock. Okay, so this stock is actually near the all-time highs when you look on the weekly chart right here, right? And it's been basically consolidating between 72 and 78 on the weekly chart. And really what is somewhat of a kind of a bull flag pattern on the weekly chart. It has a pretty nice look to it. The DMI is just now, it's really in more of a kind of a consolidation with the DMI. It does have, the ADX is letting you know whether it's trending or not, and you can see the ADX is actually capturing this move, is saying yes, it is trending. We go over to the daily chart, and what are we looking at? It's way far removed right now from the moving averages, and that's the reason why you got this right here. That's what I call a snapback indicator. That lets you know that it's extremely strong, but at this spot right here, there was a buyer that stopped the movement and said, great spot for me to take profit, or great spot for me to continue to short this thing. 82, and then your snapback came in right about 81. So this is going to be an area where if it's going to go higher, it'll actually compress in this area, and then it'll go higher. Right now, there's not a lot to do with it. Your moving averages, it's right in the middle between your snapback and your moving averages. I would wait and to see if it comes down into these moving averages. Then you got a nice trend line right here. Let's go ahead and draw that trend line. You got a nice trend line right here. That would be something between that, and then also you got your moving averages right here. You might be looking at a nice little entry right around this area right here if you're wanting to get in on this stock. All right, that's all I have for you today. I hope that was helpful to you. I hope you have a great trading day, and we're in a somber time right now. I want to remind you that it's not just about a stock market, but there's people's lives that are being at risk, and let's just remember that, and take these things into consideration. If you pray, pray. If you don't pray and you just want to send good thoughts to the people who are in harm's way. God bless you. Have a great day.